Hello, my name's Tom Carhill, and it's 16:58 on Monday, the 20th of March, 2017. I've just done a video. I've just done a video just there about the Jewish Autonomous Oblast, the flag, and what it means, and how the allegedly gay flag is not a sodomy and paedophile and bestiality celebration flag. It actually is actually worse than that, and it's linked to Jews having special rights in what was known as the Soviet Autonomous Jewish Oblast in the Soviet Union, where they had special places where Jews could go along and had special rules, and the gay flag is being used. It's a symbol, obviously, with the white on the top, white on the bottom, and the rainbow going through the middle. They've slightly tweaked it. It's obviously Luciferian, because of all the different colours. And all of their sick beliefs, which I won't go into the disgusting details of, they all revolve around sodomy, things going up people's arseholes, drinking shit, blood, and also eating shit, blood, all this kind of sick stuff. This is all linked up to their the satanic aspect of their religion, because there's the I can't ever say his name, Zebediah. Well, you can say it different ways, I suppose. I don't really know. There was the Sabbatean movement, Zebediah, Zevi, and Jacob Frank, who believed that the dualistic nature of God meant that you could either get God to come back by being very good or very evil. So if you just do something completely disgusting, if you're part of that mindset, then that will be a way that you could get the Messiah to come, the Jewish Messiah, because of course they don't think Jesus is the Messiah. So sometimes when confronted with somebody doing something very odd, very evil and very sick, sometimes it doesn't mean they actually necessarily probably want to do it because it like turns them on or something like that, or they want to do it. It might be because they're trying to do it for religious reasons, and it's very hard to understand, but a lot of the things they're doing are for that reason. So obviously legalising bestiality, that would be something that would be very, very strong in the Sabbatean Frankist movement, abusing children, all going around having just constant orgies, everybody having sex with each other, stuff to do with shit and blood and all sorts of disgusting. Anything disgusting, you'd do it because it's disgusting, and you'd indulge in that, whilst pretending to be the picture of respectability, because their movement permeated out of the Ottoman Empire, and I don't really know to what extent these things fade away. We don't really know. So they do exist though, and the thing is, it wasn't just some minute fringe movement that had like 1% of Jews in it. It was a major movement, and about 50% of world Jewry believed that those two people were like equivalent to the Messiah, because they were going to bring this enlightenment and this kind of basically make the Jews the head of the world. So that's where that one fits in. And this is the thing, so whenever you see anything sick going on anywhere, like disgusting, don't always go and try and empathise with the person anyway, I would say, but don't presume that it's appropriate to. You see, because paedophiles and stuff aren't necessarily doing it because they fancy children. They're doing it because they're Satanists and it's part of their satanic belief system. It's often happened to them. They're very, very confused, and it's a cycle of abuse. And this is something which is, very much hidden in England. And the other thing is, you shouldn't stick things up your arsehole, or I'm not saying do whatever you want, but the point is, your base chakra's there, right, and it can't really be contacted very easily. And if you stick things up, it's affecting. It's a bit like giving yourself acupuncture, but probably with bigger needles, let's say. But yeah, it's not right. So a lot of these things that are being linked at the minute to the gay movement, they got nothing to do with gays. They got nothing to do with somebody who's just a little bit a bit of a a bit gay sort of thing. It's got nothing really to do with that. And it's not a conspiracy of gays who just want to be left alone to live in their house with their other half. This is not what it's about. It's not about that. It's about Jews getting special treatment and being allowed to do any and all depravity, and they also want to introduce it to people. They want paedophilia normalised. They want pubes to be banned, because if people are going around with pubic hair, then that marks them as different from children, which is the word puberty, pubic. It's I mean, part of it is just for a bit of a laugh. Like, let's see if we can get them all to get tattoos on their face. They're doing quite well at that one. I think it's quite funny. I do find it quite funny, but it is completely degenerate. But you see, the thing with things like getting people to think it's good to shave their pubes off. The first time I ever seen someone who'd shaved their pubes off was this man in his changing room. And I walked into the changing room, and it was like as though a dog had tried to like bite me. I sort of like recoiled in kind of horror. It just looked really. He was obviously a homo. He had like all these random tattoos all over him. He looked like a complete freak. Complete degenerate. Obviously homosexual. Very, very creepy. Not very nice. And I'm a grown man, and I don't get shocked by things easily. But it did shock me, But yeah, don't be blaming this on somebody who's just been corrupted and turned into homosexual by all this Jewish homosexual paedophile propaganda, because it's not fair. They are getting hanged out to dry. That's what David Cameron was up to. I've done a video on about it. Gay equals pedo. David Cameron said so. He's trying to realign sodomy with sodomy with paedophilia. They're going to quite happily hang all these homos out, no question. Get them to follow along. And then it's almost like getting them along in a train carriage to push it. They all jump in. After 50 of them have got the big massive carriage running, and then they just go and drive it off a cliff. They'll all get in some way disposed of, whether it be physically or in a way of just by ridicule and genuine vilification, or just general across the board hatred, because I don't think they're actually going to get this paedophile stuff in as easily as they thought they were going to, because I just don't think people are kind of stupid enough to let it in. They are letting it in now, and there are a lot of people who aren't really wise to it and don't really understand why it's relevant. And, they are skirting around the edges trying to make out that paedophiles are okay, and they're just like everyone else with a different sexual preference. People aren't really accepting it. It's like global warming. It's a bit like the ozone layer. It's obviously made up, or I don't know, how would I even know? But it's the thing used to be a big issue. Then they had to stop going on about it because no one was paying attention. Like AIDS, they used to have actual adverts for AIDS. I know this might sound hard for you to believe, you're a bit younger than me, but there used to be adverts on TV for AIDS, and it was like this big bit of chalk went down with AIDS etched in it. They stopped going on about that now. They occasionally talk about things like chlamydia. If you go into a doctor's surgery, you've got things like signs for things to do with chlamydia and stuff, and you're like thinking, well, I'm sure it's not very nice. I've heard that you can get that if combined with a cold or something. You can have you can actually have permanent damage from some of these things. But it's not the same as getting AIDS, is it? We don't even know if AIDS existed, but they stopped going on about it. That's what I'm trying to say. The global warming, I think it's going to go the same way as the ozone layer. I just don't think they can even trick anyone who's got any kind of pull power. All the lefty freaks who work for the Quangos and the NGOs and the government, it doesn't frankly matter what they think, because they're the sort of anti-industrialists. So you've got the people actually doing things, and you've got these freaks who just are looking forward from their pension from like the third day at work. They're not producing anything, to be fair to them. They're just a fucking drain on everybody else, like dole bludgers, expensive dole bludgers, that's what they are. And while some of them are doing a good job, that at the top of every single government department or Quango or NGO, you've got some kind of controlled Mason paedophile or something like that. Just some horrible, obnoxious scumbag. And they'll just be stealing all the money, milking it all off. So it doesn't matter how hard you work at work. They'll just be, making sure that the purported purpose of your charity or NGO or government department will be to line the pockets of other Freemasons and compromised paedophiles and stuff. That's how it works in England. This is just how it works. So, while some people want to try and do a good job, like people in the police try and do a good job, it's a complete waste of time. They're never ever, there are people doing a good job and, starting up businesses and doing well for themselves and, producing benefit. not in the public sector, not in the charity sector, not in the NGO sector. Absolute lies. Anyway, my name's Tom Carhill. It's Monday, the 20th of March 2017. Yeah, it's 1709. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Thank you very much.